Good morning. I am Rebecca Stark, and I am just popping in here quickly to do a DNF video. For those who haven't seen my other videos, my aim in these are to find all the times the Bible says do not fear and share those with you. There are many, and today, speaking of many, we are going to look at a psalm, and there are many psalms. There are 150 psalms, and in the 150 psalms, the psalmists will say, "Do not fear," many, many times. So, sorry, I'm having like a little flashback to, is it Police Academy? Many. Anyways, our verse today is Psalm 34:34. And it's a very quick, short one. It says, "I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears." Pretty close. It doesn't officially say do not fear, but it says that by praying, God can free us from all of our fears. So here's just my little musing this morning. I saw in my Facebook feed this morning, somebody had shared, and they said, what if you woke up with only the things you said you were grateful for yesterday? And I've been sitting with that and thinking about that because fear, sorry, that's a cat rubbing up against the leg. Fear can be used as a motivator, and some people do use fear as a motivator. And I don't think it's effective. Sorry. There's a cat currently rubbing up against the legs of the tripod. That's Tiger. He's fun. Anyways, so I don't agree with using fear as a motivator. Yes, it can be effective, but especially when it's something like writing a gratitude list. So this is my little guided journal that I use, and I like it because it's got a little spot for, schedule what's happening today. Today's blank because it's spring break. There's a little blank space. That's where I write my verses, and then it asks on this side, what are my intentions for the day? What am I grateful for? What do I want in my life? And what were my accomplishments or my successes? So every day that I do this guided journaling, I write a gratitude list out. But I don't do this. I'm not perfect. And hopefully you know that. And hopefully you can see that even in yourself. Like, I'm not perfect, and I'm not going to do everything perfectly. I'm not always going to get everything done perfectly every day. So I try to get my gratitude list done. I try to pray and remember to pray. But it doesn't always happen. So to say, oh, if you didn't write a gratitude list yesterday, and you wake up today and you only get what you said you were grateful for, I just don't. That's just me. I'm not a big fan of that kind of energy. That's who I am. I like to say, let's try to do the right thing. Let's always try. So this verse is just a very simple reminder. I prayed to the Lord, and he answered me. He freed me from all my fears. So it's been a pretty amazing week, I have to say. And it's been a humbling week because I get reminded that I don't have control over everything that happens in my life and happens around me. So in my last video, I shared that my brother had fallen and was just praying for that. And fortunately, he had surgery, and he's home, and he's doing much better. Spring break started, and my son and I have just been having fun and just been exploring. So we got to go to this garden tour. River Oaks is just one of the very nice areas of the Houston metro area, and there's a River Oaks Garden Club, and they have garden tours one weekend out of the year. So we were able to go to the garden tours together on Saturday, and I said Patrick was a great sport. I really appreciate that he was there. And then Sunday was phenomenal. So Sunday, I took a couple of girlfriends and we all went to the Forrest Frank concert at the Houston Rodeo, and holy cow, that was just an amazing experience and just phenomenal to see. And talking about praying to the Lord and having prayers answered. He started, so Forrest Frank, if you're not from the Houston area, if you don't know who he is, it's okay. He's well known in the Houston area because his grandfather was just one of the very popular meteorologists. He was a meteorologist on one of the news channels for many, many years, and his name was Dr. Neil Frank. So before Forrest even came out to start the performance, he played a video of his grandfather on the Billy Graham show talking about the importance of praying for our kids. So, and grandkids, of course. So Dr. Neil Frank, Forrest Frank's grandfather, talked about praying for kids and talked about the importance of praying for grandkids and children and grandchildren everywhere. And his grandchild is now out there just proclaiming and worshiping, leading people in just phenomenal worship. So we had 70,000, I believe the number was 70,707. There was a lot of sevens in the attendance. People at that concert, which was, they said, was one of the largest crowds they've ever had at a Houston rodeo concert. Amazing. But not only that, Forrest shared a little bit of his story. And when he came out to introduce himself, you know, if you've been to a concert, the artist will come out, they'll introduce themselves, say, hi, my name is, and Forrest Frank came out and said, hi, my name is. That's not important. We are here to worship Jesus Christ. And we did. And that was just so awesome. And even as spectacular, I think, was he did a medley of songs on his knees. So on the stage, it was quite wonderful. So I don't know what you have going on. I don't know what you're facing and what fears are in your heart and what concerns are weighing on your mind. But Psalm 34:4 says, "I prayed to the Lord and He answered me, and He frees me from all my fears." And I hope that you get that experience and you pray. And you know that in some way, maybe not the way you expect it to, but in some way, God is answering your prayers. And most importantly, that He frees you from your fears. So thanks so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.